decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! From Alliance Inside. Today, big dogs, I have constructed a list with every single Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy that has gotten support from Alliance Inside, and I'm going to be letting you know on what is the top Inside deck, all the way to align yourself on a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy. It's insightful, and I'm trying to keep your pockets aligned. And of course, big dogs, if you guys like this type of content, make sure to destroy that subscribe and notification bell. Then let us know down below in the comment section, have you gotten these raven wing sleeves yet? They're soft, they're sweet, they're phenomenal. And if you go to TheCaliEffect.com, you can go ahead and purchase your sleeves today. Without further ado, let's jump on in. What's going on with y'all big dogs? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that's your day. Phenomenal, exquisite, exponential. That means that I want an exponent next to your... I'll stop. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. So the criteria for this particular tier list is incredibly simple, and I want you guys to follow with me. In this best decks tier list post Alliance Insight, there were so many Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategies that got support from Alliance Insight, I decided to make a tier list including just those. And I actually did my research. I've asked the Discord, I went into the depths of hells to figure out every single Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy that has gotten support. But I'm not perfect. Of course, big dogs, I want you guys to post down below in the comment section if there's some strategies that got even a speck of support, and I'll try my best to include it into the next tier list. But the reason why you're not going to be seeing certain strategies on here that are really strong on this tier list is because they didn't get any support. It doesn't make them less strong. This is just talking about the best decks from Alliance Insight. So with that being said, let's get into a criteria, big dogs. We are going to be judging these Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategies based on how strong I think they'll be into the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta. The only thing that matters is power, big dog, and I don't want you to go full balls in on a Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy without knowing if it is top insight or line yourself into a new deck. So let's go ahead and start off with the new old archetype in Ancient Fairy Dragon. Ancient Fairy Dragon actually got a host of cards. The new Regulus, the Fairy Beast, gets you any spell or trap card that mentions AFD. Spore, the Fairy Cell, allows you to level it on up. And Karibon, the Fairy Spirit, can summon itself to the side of the field. Not to mention there's a new Ancient Fairy Synchro monster, which is okay. If it's Synchro Summon, you get to draw one card, or if you control the World of Spirits, their new field spell card, you can add one Light Beast, Plant, or Fairy monster, or one Eternal Sunshine from your deck to your hand. Then also all monsters that are Ancient Fairy Dragon or mentioning it can inflict piercing damage. Kind of crazy, right? No. I love that Konami went out of their way to give Luna her own retrained support. And if you look at all of these monsters, they are retrained monsters from the original monsters way back in the day. But if we're gonna keep it a bean, the Ancient Fairy Dragon is alliance yourself into a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. Please, for the love of God, do not pick up this deck thinking it's going to be a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. It was designed to be a really fun deck, and while I think Karibon, the Fairy Spirit, has potential, I think overall the deck is lacking. Let's move on to a deck that I don't think is lacking though. It's stacking on its mackin' with Argos Stars. Argos Stars gets a new level 4 monster and a new spell card in Alliance Insight. Also in the Duelist Advanced set, it'll be getting more support. But for right now, I think that pure Argos Stars has mad potential. I've seen this deck and it doesn't really do anything amazing right now. But one thing that I haven't talked about is Argos Stars Odeon, or Argos Stars Tomb Keeper. That deck does have potential, but I'm not seeing it just right now. If anything, it's just players gooning around and trying to mix trap-based Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks for the love of trap-based Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks, at least in my opinion. But Argos Stars will eventually make an impact somehow. Let's go ahead and talk about Argos Stars Eldlich. Now, Eldlich did get some new support, and actually, let's just talk about Eldlich. I love how it secretly got new support in the last set, Supreme Dark. That field spell was kind of creepy, but it gets turned all the way up with direct support this time. Who cares about an Eldlich, the Mad Golden Lord? Throw him in the trash. The new El Jugado, the Golden Lord, is crazy. First of all, this card can be fusion summoned or special summoning just by attributing one light zombie monster while you have Eldlich, the Golden Lord, on your field and graveyard. It means I can finally paint a paladin the cursed dragon in my zombie deck. The next thing that it does is that if it is sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to special summon one Eldlich monster from your deck or extra deck. Wait, hold up, Eldlich the Mad Golden Lord. Hold on, come back. This card technically gives us a way into a monster that can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and also can take control of our opponent's monsters. And we also get a new continuous trap card that can summon itself as a monster or set one of your banished Golden Land or Elixir cards too. I am not gonna hold you guys. I think that this deck tons of potential. The dude that be sitting on the throne and looking all zesty actually got some crazy cards. And with that, I would say that Eldlich Argos Stars is also mad potential. One thing I want to point out, big dogs, is that yes, it didn't do so well in the OCG, but this is not the OCG. As much as TCG players hate to admit it, they love the glue. They love those slow-based trap Yu-Gi-Oh decks. If not, why does Labyrinth keep topping? And these decks, either incorporated with Odeon or by themselves, have the potential to tap into the meta. Let's move on to Cyber Dragon. You know, if Zane is Kaiba, we should be pretty disappointed, mainly because the secondary protagonists, Kaiba and even Kite, got some really good support to push them forward. Cyber Jormungandr is support. Literally, I'm not even gonna lie, I stopped reading this card when it says, if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from a hand. Brother, have you read Gashtira Finmer? Now, I don't think that this is the worst support in the world, but I think that Cyber Dragon 1000% needs help. I'll let the Cyber Dragon players tee off down below in the comment section, and to be honest, I'll let a lot of you guys tee off down below in the comment section what exactly do you need, but overall, Cyber Dragon still has going first problems. What could fix that Cyber Dragon community? Dragon Rulers! Was that like, was that Arnold Schwarzenegger, but in Yu-Gi-Oh form? I was born to lead, not read. Dragon Rulers are actually kind of a crazy deck. The strategy now has 2-card full combos, which may not seem like much, but it's damn Dragon Rulers. These combos are great. I actually think that Dragon Rulers is our first very playable deck. Yes, it doesn't have the famous 1-card combos where decks like Ryuki or even Mermail would have, but where this deck makes up for it is that Dragon Rulers have way better graveyard resources than the others, and it's not even close. Your Dragon Ruler cards being discarded to the graveyard to activate the effects actually allow you to do so much more, and since the deck now has recoverability with the new Exceed monsters and the ability to get into these cards a lot sooner, this deck has been modernized to like a dragon-based Yu-Gi-Oh deck that can be insane. If you were playing Yu-Gi-Oh in 2012 or 13, congratulations, you're a boomer now, but Dragon Ruler players, prepare to have them shaking in their boots when you summon Blaster. And with that, we move on to fairies. Look, man, I'm not gonna cap. The fairy support is, it's there. Right now, I think hands down, we can indisputably say the best fairy deck isn't a fairy deck, it's Voiceless Voice. And these cards really don't work with it. Look, guys, I know that Eva came off the ban list, and I know you could make a Herald deck. You can also even make a Drytron Herald deck, but do you really think those will be able to keep up? If you do, I really want to point you to some of my guides here and why Drytron cannot be successful at this current time at the rate we want it to be. Now, Toxic Box Fist is tricky. I heard that the Mermail players were using that monster to be able to summon the Water Barrier statue under Droll. Stop! Not only are you modern day Fluendereese players by playing the water statue, you're also becoming even more and more toxic day by day. Let it go, Unk. Stop being toxic. Your deck's on the chopping block. But anyway, Toxic Box Fist stands for Goaty, and we actually got a couple of cards that I think makes Goaty a lot better. There's that Fish spell card that actually allows you to banish cards from your hand. That's good, because it doesn't really matter if your opponent stops it, you get to banish 2 fish monsters from your hand. Then there's also the new level 4 monster Apis School, which gives the deck a solid starter and a decent extender. I think all of this is really good. I'm gonna put Goaty and Water Strategies into mad potential. The support for this actually was crazy good, and Goaty has shown before that it can be a topping Yu-Gi-Oh deck. I think there's so much potential in the TCG for fish strategies in general. Heraldic though, or heraldry, however you want to say it. In case you guys don't know what heraldic is or heraldry, this strategy is based around summoning monsters with the same name, and their effects, their Exceed monsters, revolve around having monsters on the same field with the same name. Now, it does get more support and expanded upon, but overall, I think that this deck requires way too many resources to commit. A pure Heraldic or Heraldry deck, however you want to call it, doesn't seem strong enough. This deck always feels like one Nibiru, one Ash, one Effect Veiler away from crumbling as a combo. And as a pure Yu-Gi-Oh deck, I don't think it has that much confidence. Heroes, you guys. Oh, Heroes got new evil hero monsters that actually help the deck go even more crazy. Just one new hero monster in Evil Hero Vicious Claws. This card allows you to target a hero monster on the field and special summon this card from your hand. And if you do, that monster gains 300 attack. We don't care about that. We care about the free summon. It also says if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. Then if you have a card that mentions Dark Fusion, you can destroy one card on the field. This is actually really good because it doesn't state who has to destroy the card, so Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer can do the job. I actually really like this card, but there's two big problems. One, it's a fiend, meaning that you can't make Cross Crusader with this card. Why did they do that? One of the best hero extra deck monsters, this card would have been a perfect extender if it didn't say 2 warriors. Two, this is technically another brick. It doesn't get your combo started, and to be honest with you, it doesn't allow you to pivot to any other combos unless you're already in a losing position. Then it only rewards you for playing more bricks, the Dark Fusion cards. Yeah, I like Heroes, but I think needs help. Again, hero players, let us know down below in the comment section, what do you think would help Heroes? Look guys, the new Ignister cards are crazy, but I think this deck has always been scary. One card combos were always strong, and this deck has tons of them. What got me was the new Dark Monsters in Wizard at Ignister, as well as backup Ignister. Oh, and of course, Curry Link Ignister. Like it isn't a Ignister Karibo card that isn't banned. Adding consistency, but a much needed dark presence inside of this deck when the strategy does require you to have Dark Cybers monsters sometimes is huge. I think personally that this is one of the strongest decks from Alliance Insight. The new Echo Talker at Ignister is the new Link monster in town. It allows you to special summon as many Cybers monsters with 2300 attack from your graveyard as possible. Then this card gains 500 attack for each card. It then follows up by helping Ignister do something that the strategy is needed for some time. By tributing a Link monster this card points to, you can negate the activation of an opponent's card effect and banish that card. Keep in mind, I said banish that card. That's normally really good, unless you're playing against Malice. Now, Malice got a whole new monster, which is crazy strong. Malice P-March here may not work the same way as Dormouse, White Rabbit, or Chessy Cat, but this card's actually crazy because it allows you to be able to get more resources and prevents targeting. That's kind of crazy. Then there's the Michael Jackson card, Malice in the Mirror. I promise you it can't get clearer that TJ's gonna get O2 playing Malice all up in here, yeah. I'm having too much fun. This card adds a little bit more versatility to the deck, but again, I think one of the biggest winners is that it can play the Ignister support. Players are saying that this is hands down the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Post-Alliance Insight, and I really can't argue with them for now. It has the support post-ban list that's better than any other strategy that we are talking about. If anything, it not being the best deck in the format would be a major disappointment. Materiactor got more support, but I'm not a big fan. The Materiactor deck feels kind of like Heraldic. It doesn't give you enough. It feels like it's one Nib, one Ash Blossom, one critical juncture point away from just ruining your whole combo. Now, I personally still believe in this deck, maybe with Goblin Bikers or something, but you guys already know how Goblin Bikers worked out, did you? Red-Eyes, Black Dragon. Yeah, you already know Konami don't like the black cards, dog. But even if we was talking about Metalmorph, because that's what this card is support for. Red-Eyes Metal Claws allows you to get Metalmorph to your Alliance into a new deck. Again, I think that these decks are incredibly fun, and to be honest with you, I actually like them. But if we're talking about like competitive setting, no. Casual setting, oh heck yeah. You bet your butt, brother. Joey is getting a whole new set of wheels. I would say that pure Mitsu Reptile is, oh, this deck's crazy. With a litany of new cards, a ritual spell card that actually allows you to use pre-preparation of rites, a monster that is kind of crazy, and some new ritual cards, I think that this is very playable. Hands down, in my opinion, Mitsurugi is the best TCG exclusive, maybe since Burning Abyss. And the only reason why I say maybe is because the only thing I can think of is like Ashen, Justina, Gold Pride. Oh, I forgot there's War Rocks, baby! best deck. Plans did get support with the new Kraken Corn card. We can just kind of move on. And the new Regenesis strategy. Regenesis is a interesting deck. It did okay in the OCG, but I think there's a huge difference. One, we have Kashtira cards. Two, we have a TCG exclusive that helps them out. There's the Dragolithia Kunuzi. This card allows you to send one level 7 or higher normal monster from your hand deck to the graveyard to special summon this card, which is pretty good for the deck. Especially since when it's sent to the graveyard, it can banish itself to summon a normal monster. So hey, this is cooking for Dragon Rulers, this is cooking for Regenesis, this could be cooking for quite a few decks. Then there's Replica Lord Lad that allows you to banish any level 7 or higher monster from your hand to summon this card, and then also summon a monster from your deck that has 2 of the same things as this card, which isn't hard to do. I think that Regenesis is a little bit more supported, so I'm actually gonna say mad potential. There's potential for Regenesis Kashtira, Regenesis Dragon Ruler. There's potential for so many ways for Regenesis to be able to thrive. My personal favorite that I'm thinking of right now is Regenesis Vanquish Soul, but only time will tell. I love when a strategy provides a lot more mystery than it seems to give off, and that's almost true for Ryuki. While I do think that the strategy got a lot better because of the new Pendulum monster. I mean, hey, it allowed you to be able to finally complete scales. This pretty much means that your Ryuki monsters that you have in your hand aren't completely dead if you get scales, especially considering that it's searchable with the Melody of Dragon Awakening, so more consistency. But I absolutely hate that this deck requires you to play bricks. On the bright side again, there is a 1-card combo that allows you to synchro summon into the Snake Eyes Dragon and Marujas. I still think that this deck needs help. Look, if I'm gonna be so honest with you, this deck is still one hand trap away. It's just harder to Nibiru from being cooked. Ryuki is not terrible. In fact, Ryuki might be the strongest out of all of these alongside of Hiro. I would probably put these in a tie, but I would not count my lucky stars and say that this is a top deck. Next is going to be Pure Ryzeo, which actually topped the YCS. There's no doubt in my mind that this deck gets stronger, but I don't think it's a top deck type stronger. Yes, the new Ryzeo monster, Star Ryzeo, gives the deck another oomph to it. But if I'm gonna be honest with you, I think that Heraldic Ryzeo is way better. A couple of reasons why is because X Ryzeo extends so much harder for this deck. It gets you way more bodies to your side of the field, it allows you to play into hand traps a little bit better, and more importantly, the Heraldic cards are insane, just not as their own deck. I think that Heraldic Ryzeo has an opportunity to compete with Mitsurugi Ryzeo as well as Fiendsmith Ryzeo in the TCG, where it didn't have as much success in comparison in the OCG. By the way, you should probably already know where I'm putting Ryzeo Mitsurugi, even though it isn't on this tier list. It's at the top. That deck is crazy good, especially with the new cards. Dark Magician Girl finally comes to Sarcophagus, and that gives it the much needed consistency. Guys, this is a deck that can make Red-Eyes Dark Dragoon. It's getting there. It has potential. But to be honest with you, I don't think it has that much potential. The new Dark Magician Girl card does make the deck ultra consistent, but that doesn't solve a lot of the problems that the deck has. Outside of the Red-Eyes Dark Dragoon play, which can be interrupted, this deck doesn't have a lot going for it. I think that it is a really good one of these type of decks, but it's actually better than these type of decks, right? Like, it's a Red-Eyes / Ancient Fairy, not really Blue Eyes, because that's actually competitive type Yu-Gi-Oh deck that does its thing well. Now, 6 Samurai. Oh, TJ's gonna be happy about this one. The 6 Samurais get a new support in legendary 6 Samurai Kizan. This card allows you to be able to give all your 6 Samurai monsters attack and defense of 600 during the battle phase only, and then once per turn during your opponent's main phase, you can banish one 6-strike card from your graveyard to target a card on the field and destroy it. Also, it can summon itself back to the side of the field just by controlling 2 6 Samurai monsters. That's not what the deck really needed. Bro, 6 Samurais need more consistency, but I hate to say it, when this deck gets consistent, it's an FTK deck. If there were a way to rein in Gateway while allowing this deck to still be good, and if Gateway were at 3, I would actually probably put it into mad potential. The deck does have ways into monster spells, entrap negates, and can spam monsters successfully. But again, if it did that very well, it'd be an FTK tier 0 deck. Snake Eyes. Yep. This deck is Loki tier 1. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It's a top inside deck. I was completely wrong. Losing Bonfire to 1, but gaining Ash and Poplar to 2 was a lot bigger than I expected. It allowed the deck to have the consistency that it needed. And now with the new Snake Eyes Synchro monster, which in my opinion is a better Centurion card, the deck has another card in its arsenal to be able to play. Overall though, I think that even before that, this deck is really good and is part of the upper category of very good Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Top end side deck, of course. The Tiki Monsters. Brother man, let's just go on to the next one. Now, Live Twin got some new support. I believe Live Twin Leela Sweet is in here, and that's a sweet card. When your opponent activates a card or effect in response to your Live Twin card or effect, you can discard this card to negate that effect. And then if it's in your graveyard, you get to summon it to your side of the field, but it locks you into Fiend monsters while it is on the field. And the new Link monster, Evil Twin Kisa Kill deal is even crazier. It's a Link 1 Light Fiend! Why? Yeah, big dog, this is very, very, very playable. I gotta take all of the slander that I've given to Live Twin players and just eat crow. But I have a max rarity Live Twin deck, so at least I'll be playing the deck too, I guess. This is easily one of the biggest winners by the ban list because none of the Fiendsmith cards got hit. The only unfortunate thing is that the Fiendsmith cards are kind of expensive for the deck. White Forest. White Forest arguably may be one of the best decks in the game, the best kept secret. Now because it's new cards, which are pretty much littered everywhere, it potentially has access to play around powerful cards like Nibiru the Primal Being. It also has reached its end game, the end point of its lore, so the best cards have been now given to it. I'm gonna go ahead and be really, really modest towards White Forest players because this isn't the first time around we've received some insane support and the deck underperformed. I'm gonna put it in a very playable, but I think it should be a top inside deck. This time around, I am not going to give White Forest players the benefit of the doubt. I want you guys to go out there and earn it. And lastly, the white deck. I know you guys are probably out there screaming white power, so here it is. It's a deck that needs help. I don't think that the Skull Servant deck is bad, but obviously, even with the new Skull Servant deck, we're not gonna hope to, I don't know, win YCSs with it or anything. Though it does sit comfortably above Alliance into a new Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Again, I want you guys to let me know down below if I'm tripping on any of these cards and what exactly would you do to help the decks that need help. Of course, big dog, if you enjoyed these type of videos, you already know what to do. First of all, subscribe to this channel, destroy that notification bell, purchase your Raven Wing sleeves from TheCaliEffect.com, but more importantly, check out these other videos so I can see you on the next one.